He's an eternal king. And in that eternal kingship, he's carried out different roles. There's been a primary role through each epoch of time, if you will, that went on. And all those roles that he carried out, we're going to look at 4 of them. And his roles in existence tie up with our roles in existence. So now the role has moved on to be the king of promise, the king in the role of promise. You'll find out that this promise that was given to David to the time when it actually was fulfilled, because the anointed one came, is 10 centuries. 10 centuries from the time the promise is given to the time the promise is executed or becomes manifest to us. It's an amazing thing because, this tells you something about God's promise. He's on his own timeline. Now, you could have some request before the Lord. He could answer your prayer in 10 seconds, and it's happened. But he may take 10 years, and he might even take 10,000 years. Now, we said he made one promise. He promised himself, and he promised himself to your eternal salvation for those who believe. There's the promise. That's the promise. That's what we get to hold on to, whether we're waiting a year or 10,000 years. That is the promise. It's not what we dream up. It's not what would make us happy. That's what God promises. He promises himself. That's where everything anchors down. So the God of promise made his promise. Israel went through a whole lot of bad stuff over those 10 centuries. But eventually, in his perfect time, he fulfilled his promise. The Messiah does come. The Messiah God comes. So there was a time that the king was known for his role of promise. We are in the royalty, and we should live like royalty. What does it all mean? It means we're blessed people, but it means we share the roles. It means that you share the destiny of Jesus Christ. That's pretty amazing. But let me tell you something else. Then we also share the responsibility. We also share the purpose. Do we live up to the responsibility?